Ladies and gentlemen, this is Big Ray's Wrestling Show. You know me, I'm the mark of the masses, the man with the plan. Big Ray here to stay to talk some TNA Today Impact 11/21/2013. It is Turning Point 2013, the free pay-per-view on Spike TV. Ladies and gentlemen, the World Heavyweight Championship Tournament is winding down tonight. We will have a Final Four. Now, before I jump into the recap of the show, I'm going to go over a little bit of personal business really quickly. So guys, please bear with me. You guys know that I do the Can-Am Wrestling Show, and we're actually going to be debuting the Can-Am Wrestling Show, re-debuting. We left TNA Mecca, and I love those guys over there, TNA Mecca. They're a great form, but me and Andre felt that we wanted to expand what we do on the show. So we will not only be covering TNA, but we will also be doing WWE. We will not only be doing TNA top fives, but also WWE top fives. And I have over 50 years. We have 50 years of WWE to go over. But this is a TNA forum here, ladies and gentlemen, and I want to talk TNA. But even before that, I want to give a special shout out. I have a Twitter follower. His name is Mr. Neil. You can follow him at Tigga82. That's at Tigga82. Now he has 2 kids. One is Jada and the other one's Elijah. And apparently Jada really loves watching this show. So Jada, from the bottom of my heart, Elijah, guys, I love you very much. May God bless you guys. You know, what's cooler than hanging out with your dad and watching professional wrestling? That's exactly what I did. It does create a bond, guys. I love you guys so much. Thank you, thank you, thank you, Jada. Thank you for being my fan. I am your fan. I appreciate it from the bottom of my heart, and I mean that from the bottom of my heart. You guys are awesome. Thank you so much for watching me every single week. Again, Tigga, Mr. Neil, thank you for letting me know about your beautiful daughter and your awesome son. Really, really cool. Now, some more personal stuff regarding the Can-Am Wrestling Show, guys. At the end of the program, actually, I'll say it right now. Andre Corbeil had a little issue with a troll. And I'm going to make this my personal business to say this. Guys, you know, there are a lot of people out there that what they want to do is they want to go on the internet and they want to go on YouTube, and they just, if they don't like something, what they want to do is they want to flag, and they want to actually, you know, try to destroy something someone has worked on really hard to establish. And Andre Corbeil has worked extremely hard to establish his page, and apparently one knucklehead flagged him or something like that, and apparently his channel's going to be down for a week or two. But the good news is Andre Corbeil has established a new channel. So I'm going to post this link down here below. It's not a link. I'm going to post the URL down here. It's www.youtube.com/Andre Corbeil 2. Guys, he's going to be putting his content there. Please subscribe. Please help support Andre Corbeil. In supporting Andre Corbeil, you're basically going against those trolls, those haters, those people that just don't like to see people happy and succeed. Well, anyway, guys, again, another shout out to my girl Jada, another shout out to my boy Elijah, and the big man, Mr. Neil, Tigga82, at Tigga82 on Twitter. Please give him a follow. So now let's jump into the Turning Point recap of the night. Guys, first we start off with James Storm. And James Storm, apparently, he was at a bar, and via Impact 365, he was attacked by Cowboy James Storm. James Storm threw him all over the bar and basically, you know, says, "Oh, this one's on me," and shoves some money right in his face, and he walks out. So he basically tried to take him out before their match, the bull rope match that was scheduled for tonight. Well, Dixie Carter, we move on to Dixie Carter's backstage, and she's with Samoa Joe, and she basically warned Samoa Joe, because Samoa Joe basically said if he wins the title, he wants a unification match with the real World Heavyweight Champion, that being AJ Styles, who just actually fought his, you know what, off in Japan. You know, I have kids watching, so I have to watch my language. And Dixie Carter straight up warned him. She said, listen, if you win the title, which I don't believe you will not be defending that title against AJ Styles and wrestling all over the world for a couple of pesos as she said, for wrestling minimum wage, as she stated. Well, Dixie Carter actually says, you know what, nobody wants to see you. They want to see me, so that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go to the ring, and she does. She goes to the ring, and she puts herself over. She talks about a Sports Illustrated article, I guess called Dixieland. I have to go to SI.com to take a look at that. But she addresses AJ Styles, and she says that she will shut AJ Styles down, that her lawyers, she has lawyers all over the world, and AJ Styles is misrepresenting TNA Wrestling, that he is not the World Heavyweight Champion, and she is going to put a stop to this. Now, while she goes on and on about AJ Styles, Cowboy James Storm, Mr. Sorry About Your Damn Luck, comes to the ring, and he is upset. He is basically pissed off about Bobby Roode's attack. And now he says to Dixie that he does not want a bull rope match. It's not enough. He wants a Florida, being in Orlando, Florida, he wants a Florida death match. What the hell is a Florida death match? Well, we find out later on if Dixie Carter decides to agree to this. Now, Dixie Carter basically says no. She's not going to do it. She's not going to, number one, she doesn't like I don't like the tone of your voice, she tells Cowboy James Storm. And Cowboy James Storm basically says, all right, very cool. Well, here's the deal. If you don't give me this match, yesterday, when I got beat up in the bar, cops asked me if I wanted to press charges. So, you know what, guess what? If you don't give me my match, I will in fact press charges, and you won't have a match at all. So Dixie Carter actually, you know, they're going back and forth. She doesn't like the tone of his voice. He's threatening her, and then finally, Cowboy James Storm says really nice, please, Miss Carter, please, darling. And he winks at her. I would love a match. I would love a Florida death match. And actually, guess what? Dixie agrees. So, tonight, a Florida death match between Cowboy James Storm and Bobby Roode. Cool. So we move on to the Falls Count Anywhere match between Samoa Joe and Magnus. And really quickly, we jump into the match, and Joe backstage, he starts the match off backstage. He calls Magnus out, and they brawl their way to the ring. Now, towards the end of the match, we have Joe and Magnus, and they beat the hell out of each other the whole match. And they had Joe had propped up a steel chair in the corner, and they're outside the ring now. Now Joe has a rear naked choke, and Magnus is able to back Joe into the ring apron, and Joe releases the move. Magnus then rests up against the post to get some strength, and Joe darts into Magnus, and Magnus moves out of the way. Joe going face first into the steel chair, and Magnus goes over, ladies and gentlemen, for the 1, 2, 3. Guys, we move on. Well, before we move on, Magnus, and me and Andre had talked about this on TNA Mecca, and now we talk about this in our Canada Wrestling Show. I do believe, you know what, let's not get into predictions right now. Let me quickly move on to Gail Kim and Lady Tapa versus Candice LeRae, and I'll get into my predictions a little later on in this video. But well, we have a newcomer, Candice LeRae, and she's actually been on the indie scene for some time, and hey, you know, she did okay. It was a pretty decent match, to be honest with you. And again, this is my opinion. You know, I know Andre is a big fan of Gail Kim, and I'm waiting for Lady Tapa to kind of get tired of being her lackey or being her bodyguard and take the title, I think, eventually from Kim. I think that's going to happen. But Kim actually is challenging anyone and everyone who wants to come into the ring with apparently the best woman wrestler. And she is actually very, very excellent in the ring. And she actually defeats this Candice LeRae with the defeat, and she gets the 1, 2, 3. So we quickly move on, and backstage we have Gunner. And Gunner is backstage talking to Cowboy James Storm, and Cowboy James Storm basically pouring his heart out, explaining how upset he is over the fact that happened at the bar, and he wants to really take out Bobby Roode. Now, check this out. Gunner assures Cowboy James Storm that he will, in fact, have his back tonight. We're going to see how that plays out later on. So Bobby Roode versus James Storm in a Florida Death match. And listen, guys, this was a crazy match. This was a definite hard-hitting match. We had everything. We had garbage cans. We had freaking steel steps, chairs. Everything was used in the match. Crutches. There was a portion of the match where Bobby Roode was attacking Cowboy James Storm with crutches. At one At one point during the match, Bobby Roode actually faced two steel chairs together, and he actually gave Cowboy James Storm an FU, aka, you know, John Cena's finishing move through the chairs. If you want to call it a fireman's carry drop, that's fine. But it's an FU, and he puts him right through the chairs. And listen, Cowboy James Storm really took a beating during this match. And finally, towards the end of the match, Bobby Roode goes under the ring. And I got to be honest with you, Cowboy James Storm, as much of a beating that he was taking, he kept getting up. And Bobby Roode was getting frustrated at one point. He didn't know how the hell to keep him down. So he goes under the ring, that'd be Bobby Roode, and he pulls out this large board covered in barbed wire. And he's about to put Cowboy James Storm through that barbed wire via the FU, or the fireman's carry drop. And Gunner comes down to the ring and throws in the freaking towel. What? Now, the match was awarded to Bobby Roode, and I had a thought process about this. Is it possible that Gunner may be, I don't know, maybe a little upset that the tag team disbanded, that they really didn't go back after that World Tag Team title? I gotta be honest, Cowboy James Storm was not happy, and I'm interested to see how this plays out. I actually am seeing a storyline develop between these two, which may probably end up with a match. Now, question, does Cowboy James Storm turn heel, or does Gunner turn heel? Guys, leave your comments here below at OneWrestling.com or YouTube /OneWrestling video. Now, we're going to quickly move on. A lot of show, guys, and we have, oh, and really quickly, we have Bob, so the final four. The final four is Hardy, Roode, Magnus, and Angle. Now, I told you I was going to go into a little bit of a prediction thing, so here we go. Magnus, Angle. Now, I think Bobby Roode is going to defeat Jeff Hardy. I want to know what you guys think. Leave your comments here below. Now, I think Angle will win the match versus Magnus. But me and Andre have been talking about this for weeks, and I've been talking about this. I do believe that Magnus will have a heel turn. He will finally go through the heel turn, and I think what's going to happen is, I would love to know what you guys think, I think Magnus is going to lose to Kurt Angle, become extremely frustrated with Kurt Angle, and basically beat the living hell out of Kurt Angle, beating him so bad that, of course, Magnus is now established as a heel. I believe Kurt Angle will not be 100% going into the finals with Bobby Roode, and there Bobby Roode will become the World Heavyweight Champion, and down the line, no matter what Dixie Carter says, he will face AJ Styles for a unification match. I would like to know what you guys think. That's, again, my theory. We go into an off-air segment where we have Christy Hemme interviewing Sam Shaw. He was a young contestant back in Gut Check, and now he wants to be called Samuel Shaw, and he showed a whole bunch of his art and so on and so forth. And really weird, you know, after the cameras went off air, Samuel Shaw asked Christy Hemme out on a date, and she seemed kind of excited. But did you guys notice that he kind of had like he's kind of moving the pencils around and kind of organizing things, a little bit of a American Psycho type thing, a little OCD? Is that where they're going with this character? I would like to know what you guys think. Interested to see where this goes. And speaking of interesting characters, we have EC3 backstage with Norv Turner and the other knucklehead. And he basically flew the two guys down to Florida to tell them that they're done. He's finished with them. And he actually states that he will be fighting a returning TNA legend. Well, EC3 hits the ring, and the music plays. And can you give me a shell yeah? And that's the fishing line, cause Shark Boy said so. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, Shark Boy, the former TNA legend, is back. Oh, what a joke. Ladies and gentlemen, listen, it was a sloppy match. I was not happy with Shark Boy, and to be honest with you, Shark Boy, I think, has been drinking a little too much clam juice, because he had a little bit of a gut going into that ring. Listen, he was what he was back in TNA back in the day. Again, I think he's one of the worst gimmicks of all time. Not just Shark Boy, but that whole Stone Cold Steve Austin, Shark Boy, give me a shell, yeah, Shark Boy 24/7, whatever the hell it is. Guys, I'm done with Shark Boy. and apparently so is EC3, hitting the front face DDT, the 1%er for the 1-2-3. EC3 going over Shark Boy and defeating the TNA legend. I'm sorry I'm laughing. I mean, it's just... Anyway. So finally, ladies and gentlemen, we have the main event of the evening. The Aces and Eights have been together for well over a year, 18 months to be exact. I remember when I started here at OneWrestling.com, the Aces and Eights were in the baby stages. They were in their genesis. They were still wearing the mask and they were covering their faces. Nobody was really sure who these guys were. And it's been a long time, guys. I've been doing this for well over a year, and the match is on. Now, all the boys come to the ramp. Kurt Angle, everybody. They come to the ramp. Even one of the agents comes to the ramp to watch this, because apparently this is a huge deal. And it is. I mean, guys, whether you like the Aces and Eights, whether you like their faction, you know what? They're a part of TNA history. And if you don't like them, I mean, sometimes I liked them, sometimes I didn't. But I've been expressing this for the last couple of weeks, and I think their time is over. So again, ladies and gentlemen, we jump into the match, and listen, Bully Ray and Ken Anderson did in fact beat the living daylights out of each other. It was a really good match. If you can go back, I hope you recorded the match. You can probably find it on YouTube. It was a really good match. And Anderson at one point whipping the hell out of Bully Ray with Bully Ray's own chain, and they go outside the ring, and Bully Ray is trying to, you know, he peels back the padding outside the ring. He's trying to hit the pile driver. Mr. Anderson goes and he tries to hit the pile driver outside, but of course he's attacked by Nux. No Bischoff today, but Nux attacks Mr. Anderson, I'm sorry. He attacks Mr. Anderson, and he stops Mr. Anderson from actually hitting that pile driver on the leader of the Aces and Eights, which is down to about 3 guys. 4 if you count Tito Ortiz, who's not part of the company anymore. But anyway, now, in Taz, but Mr. Anderson is able to fight Nux off. Now, Mr. Anderson finally hits that big pile driver outside the ring. Now, they go on in the match, and later on in the match, Bully Ray is actually able to drive Mr. Anderson through a table that was set up in the corner, and he sends Brooke, the beautiful Brooke, to the back, and everybody's like, what the hell's going on? And Brooke actually grabs the hammer from Taz. And apparently Brooke does not know how to throw, because this woman threw the damn hammer to Bully Ray, and she must have missed him. I mean, I don't think the freaking Great Khali could have caught that damn thing from WWE. She threw it way over his head. Mr. Anderson catches it, nails Bully Ray with the hammer, hits the mic check. Ladies and gentlemen, 1, 2, 3. The Aces and Eights are no more. They're done. R.I.P. And apparently next week they will have a funeral for the Aces and Eights. And a really cool part, as Mr. Anderson rips the cut off of Bully Ray, he demands that Taz rips his cut off, and Taz refuses, and the guys from the stage come and they surround Taz, and Taz finally takes off the cut and he gives it to the boys. Ladies and gentlemen, this was Turning Point 2013. Again, I'm going to ask you guys to go to Andre Corbeil 2's channel. Again, I'm going to post it right down here. Andre Corbeil 2, YouTube access Andre Corbeil 2. And there's a cool little promo video that I put together. I hope you guys like it, for the hashtag Can-Am Wrestling Show. Yes, hashtag Can-Am Wrestling Show, ladies and gentlemen. But this is not the Can-Am Show. This is Big Ray's Wrestling Show. I say this every single week. I would do this for a living, but if I can't, I would do it anyway. Why? Because I love talking wrestling, and I really love talking wrestling, especially for my little homegirl Jada and my boy Elijah, and of course their dad, Mr. @Tigger82, Mr. Neil. Guys, thank you so much for watching me. Guys, you can find us here every single week at OneWrestling.com, YouTube /OneWrestling Video. You can follow us on Twitter at One Wrestling. You can follow me on Twitter at Big Ray Show. I do like talking to you guys, so hit me up on Big Ray Show. Give me a follow. Guys, I will see you next week. The fallout from Turning Point 2013. Guys, check out that promo video. I'm going to leave a link here below for the promo video. And don't forget to subscribe to my buddy Andre's page. Subscribe here at OneWrestling.com. Please hit the like button. I love you guys. Thank you so much for watching. And I'll see you next week. Peace. Good night, Jada.